So hello everyone and welcome from sunny New Zealand. It is absolutely a fantastic day here, and I am so glad to have so many people on the call today to listen to setting goals and how to achieve them. The most important thing today is that this is an action workshop, and it is a workshop. There's no selling or anything on this. This is for you to take things away with you and to go and put into action whatever you need to. So please have your pen and paper ready, and I do like to have you having pen and paper ready, because action of brain to paper really does work better than typing things on a computer, and it makes you think about it as well. So please have pen and paper ready. We are going to be doing some exercises, and hopefully you will get quite a lot out of the session today. So we're talking about 3 steps to setting goals, taking action, and getting what you want. And I love the saying over here for Tony Robbins, where he says that goals are like magnets. They attract the things that make them come true. And so many people have what they think are goals, but they're not actually goals, and we'll go through that. So why are you here today? Tony, welcome. So why are you here today? Well, often I hear people saying to me, I've got so many goals, but I just don't know where to start. So I actually don't end up doing anything at all. Other people will say things like, I've always been good at saying what I'm going to do, but then looking back, I don't do any of it. And other people saying, I start setting goals, but then I become overwhelmed by everyday life, and I don't actually achieve many of them. So what I'd like to do is ask you a question, and if you can tell me, why are you here today? So if you type in the question box and just let me know, why are you here today? And I'll give you a minute to do that. So let's see some of the, okay. I've got Amy saying that she's here today because she is definitely in the saying what she's going to do, and then she doesn't really achieve it. Shirley, you've said that you need to get on top of sticking to goals. And I think that the formula that I'm going to give you today will hopefully help you to really stick to those goals. Andrew, you're saying that you just find it very difficult to set goals, so you can't visualize them. Okay, that's great. Okay, fantastic. So there are a few different things happening over here. Perfect. And we have some people arriving in the webinar at the moment. Just letting you know, we've just started the webinar, so you haven't missed much. Okay. We're going to, I want you to think about it. When you got the webinar invite, you had an exercise to do. And in that exercise, I asked you to have a look at and to write down your story of your life. And the reason why I asked you to do that is because it really starts to get you thinking about what's happening in your life, what's not working, things that you do want to change. And until you articulate that on paper, until you're really thinking about it, you don't really know what it is that you do want to change in your life, or what you do want to do to achieve the next goal. And that's often why people don't stick to goals. So I'm asking you this question here is, what will make me happy in the next 6 months, the next year, the next 2 years? So do you know what will make you happy in the next 6 months, the next year, or the next 2 years? And just think about that. So is it that you are wanting to buy a house? And then I'm going to be saying to you, well, why do you want to buy a house? What is it that's driving you to want to buy the house? Because if you just say things like, I want to buy a house this year, and there's no driving factor behind it, there's nothing that's making you want to change, that's making you want to actually get that house, you're never going to achieve that goal. The same as things like losing weight. You'll often hear people go, I want to lose weight, I want to lose weight. But if there's no driving factor behind it, there's no reason for you to want to lose weight, well, then you'll never do it. and security. So I want to provide security for my family. And on the call today, we actually have an expert in the security area and the finances, Nobby Kleinman. So Nobby, welcome as a guest on the call, and I'm really pleased to have you here, and I'm sure you can give us some good input. But really, people won't change their habits in terms of money, in terms of the way that they handle money, in terms of the way that they do things, in terms of the way that they budget or set the goals, until they have a reason to do it. And you might want to think about relationships. You know, are you in a good relationship? Are you in a bad relationship? In your marriage, with your children, with your business partners, anything. So what is your relationships like? And do they need to change? And if they do, what's the driving factor behind it? So I love this part, because the best part of attaining a goal, and you can tell me this, is the process. You know, it's the whole, once you've set that goal, once you've got the end goal in mind, what you want to do is you want to look at what the end is and work backwards to achieve it, not forwards. So you want to have a look at what you want to achieve and then work out how you're going to get there. And the process of moving through that to achieve the goal is absolutely amazing. So today what I want to do is I want to take you through what we're going to do, because often people will sit down and set goals, but they don't go through steps 2 and 3. And steps 2 and 3 is taking conscious action, and then when you're reaching those goals, it's almost training your mind you train your subconscious mind to work with you so that you can reach the goals, and then you reward yourself, and then you'll set your next goal. So before you set the goal, I want you to think about, and you need to understand, why. So if you're thinking about a goal that you're wanting to set, you need to be able to articulate why you want to achieve that goal. So I'd like you, while you're on the call here at the moment, is just to write down one goal that you want to achieve, and I want you to write down why you want to achieve that goal. And you're going to find that articulating the why is not as easy as what you think. So I'm going to give you a minute. If you just take a minute, take your pen, paper, and wonderful. Thank you, Shelley, for sharing your goal with us. But now you've set a goal. I want you to tell me. Okay, so you've given me the why. I want to dig in. Shelley, can I share your goal with everybody so that I can give a good example over here? Is that okay? Sure, thank you. Okay, on the call, Shelley has just popped her goal in here, and she said, I want financial stability, and I want to make enough to do double payments on my mortgage. Okay, so she's given a kind of a why. Now that to me isn't enough. I want to know why. So now I'm going to do is I'll do a little bit of a drill down, Shelley, and I'm going to say to you, so why do you want to make double payments on your mortgage? And while you guys are writing down your whys, if Shelley can tell me, why do you want to make double payments on your mortgage? So having a think about that. So it might be, and it might be that, and I don't know, Shelley hasn't popped in here yet. Let me just check if you've popped in. Sure, yep. Okay, so yeah, you said you want to be debt-free by the time you reach 50. Fantastic, okay? So including the house payments, perfect, fantastic. So this is where we start thinking about, you need to be thinking of the real why. And often we'll go superficial. Our first why might just be a superficial why. You need to really drill down to why it is that you want to achieve that goal. So, okay. So what's the, Nobby has asked the question here, what's the ultimate goal for making the repayments? Absolutely. And that's where people make the biggest mistake when they start setting goals. They don't set the goal with really understanding the why. What is the reason for wanting to achieve that goal and articulating it, really being able to write it down. Okay, so, and the reason why I ask you this and the reason why we go through this particular question right here and right now and right up front is because there are two types of goals. Now, just so that you know, I mean, I've done a lot of reading of books. I've set a lot of goals. I've been unsuccessful in a lot of the goals that I've set. I've sat back, I've questioned why I've been unsuccessful, and I've set goals that I've been absolutely fabulous at achieving. And so this is the reason why I wanted to put this workshop together, because I wanted to share with you my experiences. These are the things that I found that really do work when you goal set. And it's not just a case of going, well, we set goals, we try and achieve them, and we don't achieve them, and then we want to know why a year later we're still sitting in the same position. And it's been an interesting journey for me to work out what it is that actually does and doesn't work. So this is one of the reasons why I found that goals do or don't work. There are two types of goals. You get extrinsic goals and you get intrinsic goals. Now, an extrinsic goal the definition is that you're doing it external, you're doing it for others. And the way that you know that you're doing it for somebody else is when you're saying things like my or they, or you're using an external person to express your goal. Intrinsic is where you're doing it for yourself. And I'm going to give you an example of it, and I hope that nobody minds on the call here, but I have actually used the example throughout on losing weight, but whatever I'm teaching you here, and I have used a wealth goal in the examples here as well today, but whatever I'm teaching you, you can take away and apply it to your business, you can apply it to your personal life, you can apply it to any goal at all, and it will work. So if you apply the methods to anything, it will work. And the reason why I'm saying that is, for example, if you had a goal, a work goal, where you were saying things like, I want to earn 200,000 K for the year, I want to know why. What's your reason for wanting to earn 200,000 K for the year? So why do you want to do it? Do you want to expand your business? Do you want to pay off debt? Why? And keep drilling down. Now, an example of an extrinsic goal is where you're doing something for someone else. So I'm losing weight for a partner. I'm not doing it for myself. Where an intrinsic goal is I'm losing weight because I want to feel healthy and I want to feel good. Okay? And the reason why it's important to know this is because if you have an extrinsic goal, the success of you achieving it is really low. If you're doing something for somebody else, it's really, really low that you will achieve it. You need to do it. It needs to be internal. It needs to be something that you're doing and it's coming from inside yourself. You want to do it for you. Okay. Now, I know that in terms of business, that's not always easy, especially when you have people around you. And so this is where we talk about business goals being values driven, where you need to sit down together and actually work out what that goal is, but it still needs to come from inside you. Both of you or all three of you or however many there are together, otherwise the goals don't get achieved. So today we're going to go through step one, how to set your goals, and I'm going to show you this method. Goals are based on beliefs, okay? Sorry, Shirley, I'm just reading your comment here. Thank you. So goals are based on beliefs. And when you think about, and this is why I said, this is why goals don't work. Because often people will set goals extrinsic. Someone told me that smoking is really bad for me, so I'm going to stop smoking. They stop smoking. They're doing it for somebody else. They're not doing it because they've really established the value of not smoking for themselves. So it's not part of their core system. It's not part of the belief. If it's not part of their own intrinsic, they won't change it. And that's why people will start smoking again. The same as people that say I'm gonna go out and run a marathon and never do it because they're doing it because somebody said that they've run this marathon and it's wonderful and they go, oh, you look so amazing, you look fantastic. I want to look like you, but it's not really, or you should be doing it for, for somebody else, and it doesn't actually work out. It's not really who you are. So how do we want to set up our goals? Now, if there's anything out of this session, because this is the stuff that I've been looking at. So when you set up your goal, think about it as a rubber band effect. And what you want to do is you want to set up your goal so that the band doesn't snap. So this is where the band will break. Okay? Think about the goal and just stretch it a little bit, but not too much. So just stretch your goal a little bit, especially when you're talking about what you're doing in business. And I know, and I've got a lovely Amy on the call today. She's a chiropractor, absolutely fantastic. She's the gentle chiropractor, and fantastic because Amy has set goals that she's achieved really, really quickly in her business. And so that might have been very much, and Amy, I hope you don't mind me sharing this, but it really does help people on the call. But reaching goals really quickly in the business could be that there wasn't the rubber band effect, or it could be that you were so surprised at how quickly the business grew. So, and you may not have had a realistic place to start from with looking at the business. So if you're growing the business for next year, think of the rubber band effect and think of where you want the band to stretch and snap without it affecting your value system. So if you look over there, you need to have goal tension and you need to make sure your goals are a stretch. So they're uncomfortable enough to grow, but not too uncomfortable to snap so that they snap. If you're somebody that's only earning 100K a year and you're suddenly saying, I'm going to earn 13 million this year, your mind's not going to comprehend it. So, and immediately it becomes something that's just totally out, it's past the rubber band effect. It's totally unrealistic. Totally, totally unrealistic. Okay. So this is a practical process for setting up your goals. I'm going to take you through this little exercise. Thank you, Amy. I'm going to take you through this exercise. You're such a darling. And what I want you to do is take your pen and paper, and I want you to just write down words and phrases, okay? So what will happen to your life in the next year? But let's take it for the 6 months. Okay, and I want you to look 6 months into the year and ask yourself, what will your day look like if you don't change what you're doing right now? But please, and I know I asked you to write the story. This is a little bit different and you can think of it. I just want you to throw words in. And this is for those people that also didn't do the homework beforehand. So take a minute or two and I want you to think about words, phrases, 20 of them, that will describe your day 6 months from now if things don't change in your life. So obviously when I say things don't change, these are the things that that are really frustrating you, bugging you. These are the things that you are wanting to think about. And I'll give you a minute or two to work through this. If you can just give me an indication and just say yes if you're ready to carry on. Okay, Amy's ready. Julie's ready. Great, thank you. All right, looks like everybody's ready. Fantastic. So you've got the words. This is what your paper should look like. So if I don't change, and just words that I've thrown on paper over here, if you can only get 11, that's fine, and I'll take you through. So maybe as I take you through the exercise, you might get a few more, but don't stress if you haven't got 20 words. It's fine. So just to give you some of the words, like if I'm in the morning when I wake up, I'm tired, I've got no energy, I'm frustrated because I don't fit into my clothes, I've got bags under my eyes because I haven't had a good night's sleep, I got into the car this morning and I was late for work, I was angry with myself because I should have got up earlier, I looked in the mirror this morning and I was overweight, my confidence is low, I'm overwhelmed because I have debt and I can't pay it at the moment. My daughter is giving me a hard time, and I'm not spending time with her. I'm in a boring job. I'm scared to leave. When I get home at night, I'm exhausted. I'm angry because nobody's cooked food, and I've got no time for myself. I'm finding that I've got no time for my family. I want to do things, but I find that I'm procrastinating, and that's making me feel worthless and unhappy. So do you get how this exercise works? So this is just a day, 6 months from now, if things don't change, this is what your life looks like. And I know it's terrible, hey? When you look at that and you think, oh gosh, and hopefully your days are not like that all the time, but if they are, something has to change. Something in your life absolutely has to change. This exercise has, I'm using it with permission from a client of mine. I'm not going to mention the name, but absolutely fantastic way of them writing down their goals. So what the exercise is telling me about myself, it's telling me where do I need to make changes to become happy in my happy in anything that I do really. So where do I actually look at my intrinsic goals? Okay, sorry, let me just show you here. So if you look at all the reds, they're all health goals. So I'm tired, no energy, frustrated, my clothes don't fit, bags under my eyes, means I'm not sleeping well, I'm getting angry with myself, so there's obviously some frustration, I might be stressed out, I look in the mirror, I'm overweight, I've got low self-confidence going down to exhaustion, no time for self, procrastination, worthless, unhappy. There's health things happening over there. You can see the relationship things are happening, financial and some more relationship going on. So these are the kind of things that you want to think about. So what do you change when you're setting your goals? And by bringing your difficulties to consciousness, you know what you don't want happening in your life. And that's why you do this exercise, because people get so complacent in what is happening in their lives that until they articulate it down on paper, they don't change, and they don't get that they're complacent in a difficult situations that they can change, and they just keep living the same kind of life all the time. So what this does is it brings it into consciousness. It makes you articulate, it makes you think about your life and what it is that's happening in your life, whether you do or don't want to change it. I do want to say to you that if you are setting goals, do a maximum of 3 goals at a time. Don't do more than 3 goals at a time. Even 1 or 2 is fine. And I'd say to you that each goal has a number of actions to it. So too many goals can become very overwhelming, and often that's why people don't achieve the goals, because they've got just too much going on at the same time. So if you do want to set some goals, and I'm talking here even business goals, you know, when you look at really great companies, you'll find that they set a maximum of 3 major goals for the year. They won't set more than that. And if they achieve those goals before the year's up, then they'll set another goal. But most of them will set 1, 2, or 3. And that's because it's reasonable, it's achievable. Anything more than that, you're not going to really achieve it, or you're going to be pushing yourself and you're going to have the effects of stress somewhere else in your life. Okay, so here's where it gets tricky, and this is where people start going, well, goals don't really work. Remember that goals are based on values. So you must want something intrinsically to make a change to reach your goal, right? We've said that. But you must also understand that when you decide to go for a goal and achieve it, it has an impact on your life and the people around you. So if you're saying something like, I have a goal of achieving 200,000 K for the year, or 2 million for the year, or whatever it is, when you start breaking that goal down, it means that you've either got to work really smart, or you've got to pull more people on board, or you've got to really work out the goal so that it doesn't impact on your relationships. But if you're working all hours of the night to achieve that goal, it's going to have an impact on the relationship. So sometimes the impact can be positive, and sometimes it can be not so positive for the people around you. And that's where goals start falling apart. And that's where you really want to think about your actual goal. So remember, you don't live in isolation and you don't work in isolation of yourself. So even though your goals are set intrinsically, you still need to take into consideration everything that's happening around you and how it's impacting you and your value system. So if you are really, really a family-oriented person, and you have young children and you want to spend time with those young children, with your kids, you know, you can't be setting a goal that you want to achieve an amazing amount of money, and you know that you have to then work your ass off for it, and then you have to work nights and weekends and things like that, and that's going to impact on your time with your children. So you have to work out what the goal is, okay? That's it. Okay, and so you have to work out how that impacts on everyone else around you as well. And sometimes, you know, you've just got to, sometimes, and it could be that you have a partner that is not supportive. And sometimes you've just got to make the decision, say, you know what, I'm going to go for the goal anyway, and I'll work through whatever comes my way, if you really want to achieve it. But you have to make conscious decisions and be mindful of what your goal is. Okay. So on this call here, who has a wealth goal? And if you've got a wealth goal, do you mind sharing it with me? Okay, great. I'm getting quite a few people saying they've got wealth goals. Yep, that's great. Perfect. I'm not going to say what your wealth goal is. If you've shared it with me, don't worry. I'm not going to tell people what it is, but that's fantastic. So I see that you have got a wealth goal. Is your wealth goal extrinsic or intrinsic? So are you setting a wealth goal because you want to do it, or because somebody else wants to do it? Now, I'm going to give you an example of this. And this is a business wealth goal, especially for, and I've got a lot of small business owners on the call today, so I'll explain this to you. You really know when you absolutely have to earn a certain amount of money because you have to absolutely pay for your rent, okay? Or you have to pay for your expenses, or you have to pay suppliers. And whether you like it or not, you're almost forced to it. You have to achieve that kind of money. So it's almost like you're forced to do it. And it becomes an intrinsic. It drives you because you want to pay those kind of things. But let's say you were lucky enough and you had a partner that supported you. So you didn't have to pay all those things and you were okay with everything else. But your partner was pushing you, and they were saying to you, you have to earn this, you have to earn that. How do you think that you would really, really go out and earn because your partner's pushing you, or because you, or compared to the intrinsic? And I can tell you now, very seldom the extrinsic works. If somebody's pushing you to do stuff, it very seldom works. You'll do it, but you'll do it begrudgingly. Okay. I want to ask you is what will the impact be for you and your relationship to achieve this goal, or your relationships? So not just your husband, wife, your business partners, your networking groups and things like that. Think wider. Okay. Right, if there's anything on the call today, and this is the part that I really found works, and this really, really does work when you're achieving your goals. So what you want to do is you want to ask yourself these questions. What do you want to change? When do you want to achieve this? Why do you want to change this? And this really, really important. And, you know, Nobby said here earlier, he said everybody's got a wealth goal, but few people can define it. And that's the thing. So the why is so important, is why do you want to do it? And then how are you going to do it? And then what resources or support will you need to do it? And this is absolutely, and as I said, I'm taking a really small example here as I go through this for you. But when you're looking at this, what I want you to think about is this is with any goal. You know, if you, and I'll just do a quick one with you. If I am overworked in my business and I know that I'm absolutely overworked and I've got too much on the go, so I want to change the fact that I'm working too many hours and I'm spending too much time. I want to achieve this by the 30th of March. And the reason why I want to change this is because I know that it's impacting on my health, it's impacting on my relationships, it's impacting on the work that I can do for customers, and I'm not getting to things that I need to do in my business. How am I going to do this? Well, maybe I need to sit down and look at outsourcing some of my work. Maybe I need to sit down and think about how I'm going to bring an admin person on board to help me. Okay, and then so what resources and support will I need? Well, I'll have to go and look for an outsourcing company, or I'll have to go and look for an admin person. So there's a bit of work involved in doing that, but that's going to take the pressure off me. Okay. So here we go, this one here. So this is just showing you what a goal looks like, and this is why I said to you it's really important for you to write down your goals, articulate them. So if you can do it like this, and you can have it up and you can have it visual, it works. So I want to build my fitness and my level of health by the end of May 2014, and I want to lose 10 kilos. When? By the 31st of May 2014. Why? I feel like a pant when I walk a block. I know that I'm unfit, and sometimes I get pains in my chest. I don't fit into my clothes, and I'm frustrated with looking and feeling uncomfortable. Cool? Now, remember that this is very personal for you, whatever it is, and it could be that, I mean, you're sitting in business at the moment and you're not earning what you should be earning. So you might say here, I want to earn 80,000 K for the year in my online business, or in my chiropractor business, or in my wherever, and the reason why I want to do that is because why, and then put your why in, because your why is going to be the intrinsic or the extrinsic. Are you doing it for someone else, or are you doing it for yourself? Okay. How? Well, I'm going to eat clean and healthy. I'm going to walk every day. Now you'll see I didn't put run here because I'm being realistic. If you don't enjoy running, don't put it in. So I'm going to go to weight training 4 times a week. I want to drink 2 liters of water. I know I have to, and I want to go and sleep. Very, very importantly, so what's the resources and support that I need? Well, I'm going to have to get a gym membership, right? Because I want to go to a gym over here. If I want to eat properly, I need to get a nutritionist on board. Unless I can do it myself. And this is where goals really come to life. Because often we think that we have to do, when we set a goal, we have to do it ourselves. No. If you've got a financial goal, I'm encouraging you to go out and look for somebody that can help you to achieve that financial goal, somebody that knows how to do it. Because, you know, we're not built like that. Most people are not built to understand finances and to understand how to achieve a financial goal. We think it's easy, but it's not. So get a professional on board and get them to help you. Yeah, I said I'm going to take weekly photos. So do you get what I'm saying over here? Does this make sense to you? Can I have a big yes if it makes sense? Okay, I can see quite a few people going yes, yes, yes. Yeah, excellent. Now, honestly, if I say there's anything in this goal setting workshop, it's this. If you sit down and articulate this, this is what will help you get to your goal. Because you suddenly realize that it's not something that you do on your own. Okay. Your goals need to be specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time sensitive. Now, people will say to me, oh, you know what, I want to go on holiday next year. That's not a goal. And I can guarantee you, if you're saying that, you're never going to get there. Be specific about it. I want to go on holiday to where? By when next year? Be specific about it. Okay. Then what you do is you take your goal and you work backwards. And your goal might be a very long-term one. So Shelley, when you came on the call, you had a very, very long-term goal. Because you wanted to pay off your mortgage and double payments. I don't know how long that's going to take before X amount of time, but that might be a 2 or 3 year goal. And so you really want to work from 3 years from now and work it backwards. Okay. So let's test if those goals that I put up are SMART goals. So I want to build my fitness and level of health. Whoopsie, here we go. By the end of May 2014, lose 10 kilos. Is that SMART? Is it specific? Yep, I think so. Is it measurable? So I'm just looking at this area over here. Is it measurable? Yep. Is it achievable? Well, we don't know. Now, anybody can see over here, if I'm saying from May to, from January to May, 10 kilos, that should be achievable. Like that should be achievable. That's not unrealistic. But I want to show you this example where where people will set these enormous goals and they're not achievable and how you can work it out. So let's say today is January the 3rd, 2014, and you've set this goal to lose 25 kilos by the 30th of April. Okay. So you want to work out from January the 3rd to the 30th of April. This is how, if you want to do your goal setting, this is how you want to have a look at it. So it's thinking about everything. So this is 127 days. You take 127 days and divide it by 25 kilos. That means that you have to lose a kilo every 5 days. Now, is this possible? Maybe. If you really go on some major health diet thing, absolutely. Is it healthy? Not necessarily. So, you'll have health professionals tell you that losing a kilo a week is probably more acceptable. So let's take that again, 127 days divided by 7 days, 18 kilos. So, don't get yourself disheartened. 25 kilos in that time is not necessarily a realistic goal. You want to find out what's realistic for you. And so if you do it this way, 18 kilos is a lot more realistic. And that goes for everything. So, Shelley, when you said the double mortgage payments, you know that you need to earn X amount for you to be paying double mortgage payments. So how are you going to earn X amount for you to be paying that? If you're wanting to bring clients into your business and you're saying that I want to bring 100 clients into my business a week, but you know that that's going to be absolutely impossible based on the business that you do and the hours of work, well, don't set yourself those kind of goals. Just go and work it out. So, giving you some examples for those of you in small business and you're actually working you're working one-on-one with clients. It's only you and you've only got that amount of time in the day. So you've got to work out your week and you've got to work out how much time for those clients. And then you'll set that amount of appointments. Does that make sense? Can I get a yes from everybody here if it makes sense? Yep. Great, great, great. Excellent. Okay. Excellent. Thank you. It's fantastic. So here we go. This is the why. Now you'll see that if I'm looking at this over here, everything over here is visual. And you want to make sure that your goal is absolutely visual. Okay? Written and visual. And this piece of paper, you take this and you stick it on your wall somewhere where you can see it every single day. Because the minute you make it visual and it's written, you can't back out of it. And so you know that's what you have to do. Okay. I love the saying here because nothing happens until the pain of remaining the same outweighs the pain of change. So if you're sitting and you're complacent and you're happy to carry on the way you are, great, then do that. But then you're never going to reach your goal, and that's fine. It's when you realize that you have to change something to get what you want that you actually will do it. And again, based on your values. Okay. So I'm going to take you through the next step here, which is conscious action to achieving your goal. So you're understanding your goals, you're taking action, we're chunking it down, we're going to make plan, and then we're going to make the change. Now this is the part where people just get, this is where they lose it, because as I said, everybody can set goals. Most people don't follow through and take action on their goals. Most people don't. And the reason why is because they haven't done that piece that we've just done now. They don't do the what, who, how, the resources that I need, etc., the time that I'm going to take. They just don't do that. So we want to look here at conscious action. You want to get a positive addiction. You want to be positive about what you're doing. So conscious action. So I want you to do this exercise with me, please. What will happen in your life in the next year, and I'm taking you back through this exercise, if you're looking 6 months ahead into the year, and I want you to ask yourself what your day will look like if you do change. So if you change, and I want you to write down 20 words or phrases that describe your day 6 months from now if you make changes. And this depends on whatever area you want to look at, whether it's your business, whether it's your family, your home, it doesn't matter. But just think about 20 words or phrases that would describe your day 6 months from now if you made a change. And I'll give you a minute or so to do that. And so this part of the exercise, I just want you to focus on pleasure. Okay, if you can let me know whether you finished or not. Great, I'm getting some. So, Juliana, thank you. Shelley's finished. Karen? Yep, great, thank you. Amy, you finished? Okay, I'm going to move on. Almost? Okay. I'm going to give you another few seconds and finish it off. Okay, let's move on. So here we go. Assuming that's my goal, the day to achieve it, you'll see that realistically I have to lose this kind of weight in this period of time. So it's achievable, right? Let's go through a wealth example. Assuming that's my goal over there, so I want to earn 200K from the 1st of January to the 31st of December. Now, so that I can pay off my $5,000 credit card debt and travel overseas twice this year. Do you see how that goal is very specific? So be very specific when you're setting wealth goals. Be very, very specific about what it is that you want to do and why you want to do it. And I'd even say to you, and Nobby will probably agree with me here as the financial guru on the call, but you might even want to go into more detail than that. But this is just showing you how to break down that goal and how to set it up. So assuming that this goal was set on the 1st of January 2014 and I want to achieve it by the 31st of December 2014, 365 days minus 21 days for travel, 104 days for the weekend, it leaves me 240 working days. So taking the 200K, and that's assuming that I don't get sick or ill or anything like that. Taking those 240 days, it means that I need to earn $833 a day or $4,166 a week or $16,666 a month or $50,000 a quarter. Now, when you start breaking it down like that, it really puts things into perspective, because if you start thinking that that's what you need to earn a day, but let's say you're a one-on-one person, you are only going to be able to see X amount of people a day and charge X amount of money. So is that a realistic goal? Probably not. So you might have to get somebody into your business. You might have to get somebody to come and help you in that business, and that's fine. And that'll be part of your goal, and you might have another goal for growth in your business to achieve this kind of a goal. But then you've got to pay wages, salaries, things like that. On the other hand, and I know that there's some people on this call that are in the online business. So online, you're thinking about what do you need to set up so that you can achieve this financial goal. And again, you know, do you get smart and do you outsource things? What do you do? So the goal is absolutely achievable and realistic, but you've got to think about how you're going to achieve it. And remember that whole exercise, the what, where, why, how, and the resources and everything else. Okay, so here we go. How I'm going to do it is not negotiable. So once you put down the how you're going to do something, it absolutely becomes not negotiable. So if you say that you need to eat every day, walk every day to lose that weight, you need to do weight training, you need to drink the 2 liters of water every day, it's not negotiable. Okay. And so this is the kind of things that you can do. And guys, I'm going to ask you on the call, if I leave anything out here, and if you can tell me what are the things that you do that help you to remember your goals. So things like diarizing with reminders, and you can put them on your Outlook and you can put them in your phone or your calendar. I actually, in my Outlook, have put down drink water, and I do it about 8 times in the day. And the reason why I do that is because I genuinely forget. It's not because and it is an intrinsic goal, but because I'm on the go all the time and I'm on webinars and I'm doing so many things, I do forget because I'm in the moment, I'm in the zone. So I forget to do certain things. So I've diarized those kind of things. Put post-it notes up where you can see them. Plan, make time to plan. Vision boards are absolutely amazing. People say vision boards work really well. Preparation. So if you are going to do something, you need to prepare to make sure that you're achieving that. And mindset. So value each action and turn everything else down during that time. So it almost becomes it's a not negotiable. If you say that you're going to get up and you're going to go walking in the morning, do it. It's not negotiable. And that's what you do. I'd love to hear from anybody else on the call here. Absolutely, what are the things that you would do to ensure that this is not negotiable? So what kind of things really work for you? And I'll just, if you go ahead and type in the chat box, that would be amazing. So Karen, you diarize actions. Fabulous. Can you give me a little bit more in terms of diarizing? Do you do that electronically, or have you got a paper diary, paper-based diary? So you actually do it on paper. Fantastic. Remember in the beginning of the call, I said it was really, really important that when you're setting goals that you write them down physically. Don't use your computer to do it. Okay, this is fantastic. I've got Amy, you've said you dream out the details when you're walking or driving. So you find that when you're going walking or when you're in the car driving, you'll actually work out the details in your head, and then hopefully you go down and you put them down on paper. Shelley, you've got reminders on your smartphone. Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. So taking action, very much so. And Nobby, you said if you write them down, it's rememberable. So you remember them. Fantastic. Okay. Thank you very, very much for sharing. Really appreciate that. So the reasons to make a change. It propels you into positive action. You need to understand the understanding of the value or the importance of the change, and then you consciously question, you consciously question, does this align to my goals? And that's absolutely fantastic, because that's the way you're going to achieve your goals. So let's check in quickly. Do you have written goals at the moment? So can you pop into the chat box and just tell me, do you actually have written goals at the moment? No? Yes? Not really? Great. You know what? Not really and definitely not defined? Yes? Great. Okay, you know what? I so appreciate you sharing that, because if I say anything from here, from this call down, that piece that I've done with you with the what, where, how, why, and all of that, go and sit down and actually articulate your goals. Go and write them down. Now, if you've got written goals, do you have them articulated the way that I've shown you earlier on? Not necessarily. Okay, that's great. Okay. Are they SMART goals? So are they measurable, achievable? Do they have time to them, etc.? Okay. And do you have the what, when, why, how, and the resources support written down to achieve these goals? Okay. You know what? Really thank you very much for sharing, and I appreciate when you say no, and some of you are saying definitely yes, you have got them down. This will absolutely definitely help you to move forward and to achieve your goals. As I said, these are things, because I was setting goals and I wasn't achieving them, and I really delved into I'm very much a person that questions why things don't work and how they can work better, and what's not working, and I ask lots of questions, and I go out and I interview people and I find out what's not working for them, and I read lots of books and put it all together, and this is honestly what really works for me. So and I've tested it out with so many people and it's working for them. So just thinking about step 3 now, which is the achievement and the reward. So you've set your goals, you're now going to take conscious action, and you're going to be mindful of everything that you do. There's not negotiable things that you're going to be putting into your calendars, your diaries, post-it notes, wherever, whatever helps you to achieve those goals. And this is why I love pulling resources into goals, because once you get a resource into a goal, that resource will help you to stay accountable. And that's why in business coaches are so amazing, because coaches help your business to stay accountable. They help you to stay accountable. That's why if you've got a financial goal, get a financial wizard guru on board, because they will help you to meet those goals. If you want to lose weight, get a nutritionist, a personal trainer. None of us can do everything ourselves, but it is absolutely amazing when you surround yourself with people that can help you to achieve those goals. So they keep you accountable. And you know what? People often say to me, you know what, I can't afford it. But the fact is that if you really want to achieve that goal, you can afford it. And by pulling those resources in, it actually helps you to do better in what you want to achieve. So, you know, if you're pulling a nutritionist in, you will achieve your goal. You'll do it a lot quicker, and you'll be feeling a lot better about yourself. So you pay a nutritionist, you know what, it's worth it. If you have back pains and you want to be able to walk again because you've fallen down the stairs and hurt your back and you can't walk, well, you go to a chiropractor and you spend the money. I mean, you would do that you would do that when you're in pain and when you can't do anything. So what makes it any different when you're not? Isn't it funny that, you know, when you have to do something, you will find the resources to do it? It's because we don't care enough about our goals. That's why we don't do it. Okay. So, okay. Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. Oopsie, let me just jump here. So we're on the last section, which is achievement and reward. And we want to move you from pain to pleasure. We want to give you a positive addiction. And you'll see that, you know what, nothing runs smoothly. You know this line over here? This here is showing you how goals actually really work, because nothing runs smoothly. You know, things don't always work out the way that they should, but if you are mindful and you're conscious and you've got them written down, it'll all work. Good morning. Okay. Now this is the part that I really love, and this is where we talk about that last part of how do you achieve your goals. This is all about your mind and your mindset. So you've got this I've taken from, I went to a talk with Robin Banks. He was absolutely phenomenal, and I loved his talk, and I've implemented a lot of what he said. But he works from, if any of you have read Positive Thinking by John Kehoe, that's he's the representative for John Kehoe. So I'm just going to take you a little bit of this because I use this and it works, and this will help you just another step to reach your goal. So first thing is you have your conscious mind, and your conscious mind is everything. Your conscious mind never stops. It carries on for 24 hours a day. So your conscious mind is always busy and it's always thinking. And even when you go to bed, your conscious mind is always still thinking. It's always on the go. When people say they meditate, they don't lose the conscious mind. They don't stop thinking. It's just that they focus and hone in better into a point when they meditate. And so whenever you're doing something, if you can train, and you can, by the way, you can actually train your brain, train your mind to focus and hone in onto a point, to focus and hone in onto something that you're doing. And if you can do that when you're in the moment, when you're actioning your goals, then that's when you start knowing that that goal is important and to achieve it. So for example, if you're honing in, so you're going for a walk and you're honing in on that's what you're doing and you're doing this to reach your goal, then you will absolutely do it. But if you're making excuses beforehand and you allow your conscious mind to make those excuses, you'll never ever get out for the walk. So you've got to control, and you can control your mind. You have power over your own mind. And I love this because, you know, we just let our minds do whatever it wants to. The unconscious mind is the part of the mind that unconsciously thinks about everything. So, you know, when you're thinking about driving a car, when you got into the car consciously, you remembered the first time you got in and drove, you had to think physically about putting the car into gear if you're in a manual, or putting it into drive if you're in an automatic, and pushing the petrol, pushing the brakes, things like that. But now when you get in a car, you just drive. That's your unconscious mind. It just does, it's the habits. It just does things by habit. And unfortunately, if you've formed bad habits, they move into the unconscious mind, and they will allow the control to the conscious mind. But what I really love here is the subconscious mind. Now, the subconscious mind absolutely does not understand, and hear me here when I say this, it doesn't understand past or future. So if you're talking in the past or the future, the subconscious mind does not pick that up. It only picks up the present, and the subconscious mind does not understand negative or positive. All it does is it accepts what you tell it. And so if you're saying things like, I'm really fat, it's done in the positive, and it's done in the now. Even though it's a negative statement, the subconscious mind believes it. So the subconscious mind helps drive the conscious mind to acting in that way. So the subconscious mind will go and say to the conscious mind, well, you are fat, so you can eat more food. The same with your goals. If you say things like, oh, you know what, I'm really struggling, and I'm so poor, and I just can't make ends meet. This is the problem that we have as human beings. We will sit down and talk in the now, and generally we'll talk in a negative context in the now. But when we want to achieve goals, we'll talk in the future. So we'll say things like, I will be a millionaire one day. I will achieve that goal. I will lose weight. Well, guess what? The subconscious mind doesn't understand it, so it doesn't take it in. It doesn't help you to achieve that goal. So if there's anything that I want you to do to help you to achieve your goals, is start thinking about the way you talk, and start listening to how you talk about things. And if you're talking in the negative, and you're talking always about it's never going to work for you, well, guess what? It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. It doesn't work for you. So you need to talk in the now, and you need to talk in the positive. Now, what I mean by that is, if you've set yourself a goal, say to lose 20 kilos, whatever it is, you can say, I am X amount of kilos and I look fabulous. I am sexy and I'm fabulous and I weigh X amount of kilos, right? Your subconscious mind believes you, even though your conscious mind is going, are you freaking mad? Have you looked at yourself in the mirror this morning? There's no ways that you weigh that much. But your subconscious mind believes you. Guess what starts happening? Your subconscious mind will help you, conscious mind, to drive you to actually achieve that. And I can tell you honestly, it does work. It absolutely, absolutely works. I was skeptical about it at first, and I've been practicing it for the last 9 months, and there has just been such amazing stuff that's happened because I'm training my brain to think differently. I'm training my conscious mind to hone in, and I'm training my subconscious mind to believe whatever it is that I wanted to achieve. And I am. So I'm just sharing with you and to show you how powerful this is. I really, really want to do a lot of international speaking. And I have spoken in quite a few countries, but I really want to do a lot more. And I sat down and started doing this stuff, and I went, I am a powerful international speaker, and I am invited to speak all over the world. Well, 3 weeks later, I got a call from a company inviting me to speak in another country. How awesome is that? But I kept saying that every day, and I kept reaffirming it, and I kept reaffirming my goal, what I wanted to do. And I'll keep reaffirming that goal because that's one of the things that is my goal, and I do want to do it. So you train your mind to help you to achieve your goal. You actually train your mind to help you to achieve it. Now, does this blow you away a little bit? Is this a little bit different to what you have been taught to think? because you can actually train your mind to achieve your goal. And I think that is just phenomenal. I really, really do. Does has anybody got any comment about this? Anything that they want to say? Does it make you think about things a little bit differently? Yep, a little bit of a mind blower here. This is the thing. I mean, if you think that, I think they say that we use 2% of our brain. Can you imagine if you used even just a 0.2% more of your brain, what you could achieve, what you could do with your life? It's just phenomenal. And honestly, the more that I've trained the conscious mind to hone in and do things, and the more that I talk and speak in the positive and the now, remember it's always in the now, the more that I am meeting my objectives and goals quickly, easily. And you know what the funny thing is? It's almost like, I don't know whether it is just your physiology that changes, the way that you interact, the way that you, it's the funniest thing, but it's almost like these things start coming into your life. It's almost like you'll meet somebody that will help you to achieve that goal. And it's just the craziest thing, but it happens. So what's definitely happened for me is what I want to say, and I know it's happened for a lot of other people. Okay, so think about the story that creates your life, because your stories create your life. You know those positive affirmations and things like that? So you've already written the one story, and I asked you to do that as part of the exercise. I wanted you to look at your life and write a story about it if your life didn't change, and I want you to really look at it. And now I want you to do, when you leave this call today, I want you to write the second story about your perfect day in 6 months from now. So if you do change things, what would it be? What would your story look like? And you're going to find that it's going to incorporate all your goals. So, you know, and start it as a story. So start it as once upon a time. Write it in the now, the present, and go into detail. So write your whole story and go into detail. If I say to you that this is such a valuable exercise, I cannot absolutely tell you how valuable this exercise is. And the reason why this exercise is valuable, because it makes you really think. It makes you think about what you do actually want in your life. Because so many people will say, again, and I'm going back to the beginning, so many people want goals and they want to set it, but they don't actually know why. They don't really understand why it is, because they don't have something that they're looking forward to. They don't have something that they want to, they can't see it. And so this exercise will help you to visualize, will help you to think about what it is that you really, really want in your life and what you really want to achieve. And again, whether it's business, pleasure, whether you want to combine them, that's completely up to you. Remember, you're a holistic person. So think about what if 6 months from now, and remember it's SMART goals. You know, if you're not earning $1 million now, don't put that in 6 months' time you want to earn $20 million and be sitting on a luxury yacht in the Caribbean and doing whatever. That's not an unattainable goal. Make no note, I'm not saying to you that that's an unattainable goal. I'm just saying that you write your story every 6 months and change it and change it and change it until you're reaching whatever it is that you want to. Okay? So there are 3 things that you can guarantee that your goals are met. Focus constantly and consciously on them. Take that perfect and imperfect day and focus on it constantly. Create positive and healthy addictions. So find your intrinsic goals, whoopsie, and value. Whatever you're doing, does it add value to your goal? Now, I just want to clarify this one over here. You know, when I set my business goals and things like that, and I have 3 absolute achievable business goals for the year, what I do is if somebody calls me and they want to set up a meeting, I find out from the person what the meeting is about, and then I have a look at my 3 business goals. If the person does not fit into those 3 business goals, I do not meet with them. I don't waste my time if it's not going to meet a business goal. And I know that sounds really, really harsh, but what it does is it actually moves you away from having what I call coffee meetings, where you're earning no money and all you're doing is gossiping and talking about stuff that makes no value to you or your business. And that's unfortunately what a lot of people do in business. So they have lots and lots of, they become professional coffee drinkers. And so all I'm saying to you is you're becoming conscious about what you're doing. And you're becoming conscious about whatever you're doing, does it meet your goal? So in my business goals, definitely, if something is not meeting a business goal, I will not engage with it or do it. And that might be to my detriment. I don't know. I've never found that. In fact, I've only found that it moves me forward quicker and it helps me to achieve my goal better. Because I've become very conscious about and very selective about what I actually do in my business and what I don't. Otherwise, I can do a whole lot of stuff and get nothing done and earn no money. And that's just the way it is. So, very, very focused. Does what you are doing add value? Okay. Focus constantly and consistently. Focus on what you don't want. Create some massive pain in your life. And then focus on what you do want and create some massive pleasure. Okay. And if you focus consistently, the brain changes the way it thinks. So start talking in the present as if you have already achieved your goals, and make your goals visual and use positive affirmations. And you can see here, it's bringing the goals into the present. So it's balancing them out. Don't talk about the goals in the past or don't talk about them in the future. Balance them out, bring them into the present. Even though they are in the future, talk about them as if you are achieving them already. Take action to change. So every day read your perfect story. Keep doing this until your story changes. And you constantly need to ask whether or not your life, your work, your message, your relationships, your thoughts, your actions, your decisions are aligned with what you believe and what's most important to you. And the reason why I say that is because you would not have set a goal if it was not important to you. And if you would not have set an intrinsic goal if it was not important to you. So it all aligns to your goal. Does it add value and does it help you to get one step closer to achieving your goal? And when you have achieved your goal, and we're so bad at this as human beings, we don't reward ourselves. And then we just drop it and go, well, next year I'll set another goal. No, when you've achieved your goal, it doesn't matter whether you've achieved it in March or in April or in September. Set your next goal. Move forward. Don't go, well, I've achieved my goal, so that's it. I can relax now. And I often hear business owners do this. They go, oh, I set my goal, and you know what? I'm already reaching their goal, and it's only 3 months down the line. Well, you know what? You didn't do the rubber band effect for starters, so you didn't really stretch yourself. But that's okay. You may not have known. But don't stop there. Go and set yourself another goal from there to the end of the year. Don't stop working. Obviously, as long as it works within your value system. But that's what you want to do. Okay, so reward yourself and set your next goal. Right after the workshop, I would really, really like you to sit down and articulate your goals. I'd really like you to articulate them in the why. So think about why you want to set the goal that you want to set. I really want you to work through all the steps of the goal setting. I want you to make it visual. I want you to really think that whether it's intrinsic or not for you, and I want you to train your mind, train your brain so that you can focus on achieving that goal and also talk in the now, talk in the positive. So start listening to the way that you talk. Start listening to whether your talk is positive or negative. And I'd love to hear from you, if it's okay with all of you, I'd absolutely love to hear from you what you are going to do when you leave this workshop. So it would be fantastic to hear from you. Um, that's beautiful. That's absolutely so beautiful. You know, your goals are personal to you, and I'm not going to share them with everyone here on the call, but they are coming in and they're absolutely lovely, and that's amazing. So definitely do the things that you want to do. Can I get from you, and if you don't mind sharing with me, have you found the session valuable? So that's fantastic. That's absolutely fantastic. Look, I'm getting a lot of really good feedback here. Amy, thank you so much. It was very inspiring, motivating, and helpful. I really appreciate that feedback. Thank you. Now, all I'm expecting from each one of you on the call is that you absolutely take the time out for yourself, go and write that story of your life in 6 months' time, and go and take time to set the goals. You know, you need to make time for you and for whatever it is that you want to achieve. So take time to set the goals. Yeah, I'm not a believer in setting 2014 goals. I think it's an absolute lot of rubbish. I think you set goals when you need to set them, and you achieve them when you need to achieve them. It's just very fortuitous because we always end up at the end of the year and everybody goes, oh, I've got to set goals for next year. What is it going to be, you know? Just think of your life as different goals that you have to set throughout. Any other feedback? Is there, have you found this helpful? Great. Okay, lovely. I'm getting some amazing feedback. With that said, thank you, Amy. You're amazing too. With that said, there is nothing else that we need to do on the workshop. So it's finished. And if you, what I'll be doing, so just so that you know, I will put this presentation, I've recorded it, so I'll put it into Google Drive and invite you into Google Drive. If you've got a Google account, you can get into the Google Drive and you can just watch the presentation over and over again, so it will help you to, you know, to achieve the goals and things like that, and just carry on and set them up for you. Okay? With that said, I really want to say thank you so much for taking the time, for being here today, for listening to the webinar. I so appreciate it. It gives me great pleasure to deliver these things, and absolutely go and do whatever you need to do to achieve your goals. Have a fabulous day and night. Shelley, I know that you are probably just about ready for, no, you wouldn't be now, hey, ready for bed. You'll be around about dinner time now. But go and have a lovely evening. Think about everything, and blessings to all of you. Have a wonderful, wonderful festive season, Christmas, holiday, whatever you celebrate. Just be safe and absolutely enjoy it. So thank you very, very much. See you all. Bye.